What we've presented here at the Gallery Mass Space is our studio. It's our working environment, and what's important here is just a series of things which are all related to architecture in some form, through material, through objects. So it's not specific. I think it's like a Pandora's box where there's a whole sort of room of discoveries that can occur. So from drawings and sketches and models, even a film of the studio, which sort of shows the environment in which we work in. So what we've presented here is really an environment of how we make or how we go about making architecture, which is very critical for us. And we've tried to, as best, represent it in this space to give the people here in Japan a similar or a close experience of what we experience every day. So that's really what's presented here. And then there are small films, in the upstairs space, which are just videos that have, in a sense, nothing to do with architecture, but everything to do with architecture. So they're just more like anthropological documentation of the changing times in India, but also sort of tied back to the history and the tradition. So you'd find some videos which for me are one of the favorite parts of the exhibition personally for me. Partly because that's something that one does every day, through traveling. So there are many things, small objects, videos, full-scale mock-ups which are out there in the courtyard. And they're also what we've tried. What we want to do is, experience them with the weather. So if it's raining today, and they can get wet, and it becomes alive and tangible, and they're not precious anymore, because that's part of how we see architecture, that it's not precious, but it's something that's alive and responsive to the climate and to the forces and the condition. So I think our endeavor is to sort of represent this real experience. Also, you can come here, sit down, take your time, spend the day, or even half an hour and just look at a few things. So on a table you could have like small, various textures and colors and materials, a model which you can sort of discover through the model, through the photographs, and they're not necessarily linked. I think what we've tried to do is create a non-linear route. So there are many different possibilities and encounters that you can experience. So every time you come in, it's a different experience, and it's not static in that way. So that's really been the sort of core of what we've presented here. Another important thing that we actually did was construct the entire gallery space in our studio back at home, and we actually sat inside the gallery. So for 3 months, we were pretty much in the same space, and towards the time that we needed to ship all the goods, all these things, we just basically took them down and then put them back up here again. It was partly also to simulate as close an experience that we will have here in Japan. So for us, it's not fiction. It's as real as it is for us, back home. It's just a studio here in Tokyo, or an extension of our studio here in Tokyo. And this is the kind of working environment we would practice in. So that's really, I think that's what one is hoping, that you can get a sense or a texture of how we go about doing what we do every day.